Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Cold Cinema 83, and it's time to do another video for you guys. And today I'm going to do a new movie review, which, it has been a while since I've done one of those. But, for this one, I could not do it. So that's why I decided to do this video for you guys. Today, I'm going to discuss and review Christopher Nolan's latest movie, The Odyssey. So sit back and I hope you will enjoy. And by the way, cheers. Alright, so it's been a while since I've done any content on my channel, but I've just been very busy. Also, there has been a heat wave here twice, so it's been pretty crazy. I'm still sweating a bit, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I could not do this video because I had to do a review on The Odyssey. So here we go. You might not know this, but I'm a Christopher Nolan fan. I love a lot of his work. I think he is a true master of like the new sort of the Hollywood that exists today right now. I think he's one of the best right now working in the business. Absolutely, he has done some amazing work. I love his Batman trilogy. I love Interstellar. I love Inception. I even love Tenet to a certain degree. I love Dunkirk. So I love a lot of his movies. His latest movie, though, Oppenheimer, I wasn't really too big on because while I completely acknowledge and agree that on a technical level, it's a very well-made film. It's just not my cup of tea. I'm not someone that enjoys historical movies, or biopics or whatever. I mean, those are just not my bread and butter. That's not what I get entertainment out of or excitement out of. And while I agree that it's a very well-made film, Oppenheimer is just not my genre. So when I heard that he was going to do a adaptation of the Greek myth, of course, of Odysseus and stuff, and all that stuff, I was very, very excited because, like, okay, you're gonna do a movie for me now, which is good, So yeah, I mean, I love Christopher Nolan. He does so much great work, and to be honest, because now we're going into it, to be honest, The Odyssey belongs up there because The Odyssey is a phenomenal film. I love this movie. I really do. I love it so much. This was so amazing. I might go to the theater to see it another time, a second time actually. But after my first watch, I mean, I'm recording this like 2 hours after I saw the movie, so it's still very fresh in my mind. So I might go and see it again for a second time. But after the first watch, what an incredible movie this is. This is phenomenal. So before I start diving into all of the things that make this movie great, I just want to get one thing off my chest. All of you people that are, adding and creating this controversy around the movie, I only have one thing to say to you. Get over yourself, really. Get over yourself, honestly. I mean, you're looking for historical accuracy in a movie that has monsters, giants, and gods. You're looking for historical accuracy in a movie about a Greek myth. I'm just saying. Anyway, so just, do something with your life. Really, do something with your life. Anyway, so yeah, let's get down to business, because this is a phenomenal film, like I said before. I want to start with talking about some of the acting here, because the cast is phenomenal. It really is. um, Christopher Nolan always put together such, a group of talented people, and this one is no exception. I mean, you have Matt Damon, who of course plays the lead role, Odysseus, which he does phenomenally, actually. I thought it was a very interesting choice that Matt Damon was going to play Odysseus, but it makes all the sense in the world. It really, really does. So you have Matt Damon in there. You have Anne Hathaway as Penelope, who is, for me, she is one of the best things about this movie. She gives such a stellar performance, which I'll get into. And of course we have Tom Holland, who plays his Odysseus' son, Telemachus. Of course, also just phenomenal job. This might be Tom Holland's best performance, I think, probably, if I had to throw that out there. You have Samantha Morton, of course, who most people know as Alpha from The Walking Dead, of course. Let's see who else is there. You have John Bernthal. You have Charlize Theron in here as Calypso, the sea nymph. So the cast is just absolutely phenomenal. It really is. And by the way, Robert Pattinson, oh my God, Robert Pattinson. I want to say this. I mean, Robert Pattinson falls into that group of Leonardo DiCaprio and Ben Affleck. When they were young, they weren't really good actors as well. But I always say, like, they're like wine, they're like a fine wine. They have to ripe, You have to let them ripe for them to become good. That's what I said about Leonardo DiCaprio, and that's what I said about Ben Affleck. And I will say that about Robert Pattinson right now, because, in recent years, he has been killing it, whether it's the Batman, whether it's this, whether it's, the upcoming June movie where he plays Cytail of all people, which I'm sure is going to be great. But Robert Pattinson, and he plays the villain in this one as well. Of course, and Antinous, one of the suitors, of course, of Penelope. And he is such a sleaze, he is such a disgusting, sniveling coward, he's like a snake that whispers in everybody's ear, it's so great. He does a really great job at that, at portraying this just like really like hateful villain. Absolutely phenomenal, great stuff. So yeah, stellar cast. The cinematography is beautiful. I mean, Christopher Nolan shot this movie all over the place. He went to Morocco and the Western Sahara desert. He went to Iceland. He went to Italy and all of that stuff. Greece. He shot some stuff, I think, in Scotland as well. And it shows. It really shows. That's one of the things that I really appreciate about Christopher Nolan as a director, is that he always goes for real locations and practical effects, which is so unique and unusual in present day Hollywood. I mean, nowadays everything is shot against green screen. So yeah, Christopher Nolan is kind of like an odd bird when it comes to that. But I really appreciate him for that, because, it feels like old school filmmaking, from the olden days. And I'm here for it because it's amazing. And what he does with the camera and just the cinematography and how he shows the ocean, but also the islands and, the woods and all of that, the ruins and the castles and all of that. He brings that to life so wonderfully. So cinematography is another plus. Then we have to talk about the effects. Now, this is the first movie, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the first movie where Christopher Nolan actually uses some CGI in this movie, because of course we have, of course, let's talk about the creature effects. We have, of course, the giant Cyclops, Polyphemus, of course, who's there. We have the Lastrigones. We have, people being turned into pigs and animals. We have octopus-like creatures that snatch people from a boat. We have giant whirlpools. It's just there is a lot of stuff on the fantastical element there. And so this is the first time I think that Christopher Nolan is actually using some CGI. But let me tell you, the CGI that he uses is just, it's masterful. I couldn't tell if it was real or not. I really couldn't. Especially with the Cyclops. I think that's one of my favorite scenes of the movie. The Cyclops is disturbing and absolutely frightening and monstrous in every way that you want. It's that, but also just the giant whirlpool Charybdis, it looks so beautiful. It's like magical, because again, it doesn't feel like digital. You don't, at least I couldn't notice that it was coming out of a computer, and that's really something to be praised as well. There was some great action in this movie, especially the scenes involving the Trojan War, the war for Troy, of course, and the Trojan horse, of course. Those scenes are they're just epic and bloody and violent and just really fast paced, and it's like you're on the edge of your seat when you're watching those battle scenes, for sure. But the biggest thing for me, the biggest positive thing for me with this movie is the story. This story is so incredibly emotional. I think I cried 4 or 5 times during the movie. For those of you who don't know, the Odyssey is basically about this man, Odysseus, who goes to war, fight the Trojan War, of course, and then takes a journey back home, but then encounters all of these things on his way home, and his journey takes a lot longer than it's supposed to, because of several reasons. And in the meantime, Penelope and Telemachus have to deal with their own problems, because while Odysseus is away, everybody presumes he's dead, and there are this bunch of wannabe playboys and just disgusting, filthy, just, elite kind of maybe princes or people from Ithaca that basically force their way into Penelope's home, and they are suitors, and they all want to marry Penelope to create a new king and rule in Odysseus' place, pretty much. The whole journey is such an emotional one. There are so many amazing beats in terms of heartbreak and love and everything that you want from a story like this. For example, there is a scene between Penelope and Odysseus in which they basically say goodbye, because of course Odysseus is going to fight his war, and they are in their bedroom. They have like a last romantic night, and Odysseus, and they're very emotional, the both of them. And Odysseus is just like, he basically makes her promise, like, if I don't come back, then you have to promise me that you will remarry. And Penelope's reaction to this is that she slaps him in the face. But it's not a slap of like hatred or resentment or bitterness or whatever. It's a slap of love, because just the look in her eyes and just the tears and stuff. It's like you can just hear her thoughts. Like, how can you possibly suggest a thing like that? How can you even consider something like that for me? Like, I mean, like, just she loves Odysseus so much that she can't bear the fact of even thinking about doing something like that. But it's scenes like that makes this movie so worth watching, and there are several of these scenes, and I feel like, yeah, like I said, I think I cried like 4 or 5 times. So yeah, I mean, it's so great. The last thing I want to talk about is the score. Now, I have to say this. I mean, Hans Zimmer didn't do the score for this one, which is totally fine. I forgot his name, but I think the guy also did the score for Oppenheimer. And the Odyssey has a great score, don't get me wrong. It's just that I got the idea that it works better in some areas than in others. That's all I'm saying. So the music doesn't work as well in all of the scenes during the movie. That's all I'm saying. So so maybe that's like my only nitpick there. Maybe that's like my one nitpick. There is one thing I'm gonna say here before I go into a rating, which is not. I mean, this is not a negative. This is like a sort of like a nitpick, because it's kind of interesting. Christopher Nolan makes a, let's just say, creative choice when it comes to the Greek gods, and there is a certain twist in this movie. That's all I'm gonna say. That really threw me off guard, in a good way. But it made me wonder. It made me really think, like, wow, really, Christopher Nolan? I mean, you actually went there? I mean, that's you actually did that? I mean, that takes some balls. I mean, that really takes some balls. It really does. And I applaud him for that, but some people might find that a little bit of a cop-out, maybe? I guess that's the best word for it. Some people might find that sort of a cop-out. You'll know it when you see it, but you know it when you see it. But some people might feel that it's a bit sort of cheap. Let's just say that. Some people might find it a bit cheap, but yeah, with all of that down, I mean, I think those were all my thoughts about the Odyssey. I think I talked about pretty much everything I wanted to discuss here. So, in closing, and then we'll get to my rating, of course. Alright, so in closing, and I tried to keep this review as spoiler-free as possible, because I feel like everyone should see this movie. Here's the thing. I love Christopher Nolan, and I love what he does with his films. And, sometimes he makes decisions that ruffle a few feathers, Sometimes he goes a bit against the grain. But is that really a bad thing at the end of the day? I mean, don't we want people with creative vision and like a sort of way of looking at things that are different, than what we are used to. I mean, I would say yes, but maybe that's just not a thing in our present movie culture anymore. I'm not sure. But overall, I adore the Odyssey. I think this is a really fantastic film. I'm definitely going to see it again, and I can't wait to get this on physical media because I have to own this. I love this sort of epic, mythological fantasy storytelling, and the Odyssey does that in spades, and it really delivers on pretty much every single front. So yeah, I love this movie. I really do. I adore it, and I can't wait to see it again because it is absolutely fantastic. So with all of that down, my rating for the Odyssey, let me think. I got my rating. I'm going to give Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey an 8.5 out of 10. I feel like that's fair. I think, like I said, there is something to be said about the twist, and, the score sometimes is a little bit unbalanced. And then there is just the Controversity, which is gonna be an uphill battle probably for this movie. But apart from that, I mean, I think this movie is pretty amazing. So 8.5 out of 10. That's my rating for this movie. But let me know in the comment section down below, what did you think? Have you seen the Odyssey? Have you not seen it yet? If you did see it, did you love it as much as me? Maybe you hated it. If you did hate it, tell me why in the comment section. Please keep it respectable, and just, easygoing. Like, I don't want any controversy on my channel here. I don't want any, like, toxic fandom or hatefulness or whatever. So please just be respectful and, measured in your comments and stuff, please. But if you disliked it for some reason, tell me why in the comment section down below. I want to know your thoughts, opinions, theories, ideas, as always. So anyway, thank you for watching. I will be back with more videos as soon as possible. I promise you. Stay safe and healthy as always. Have a great weekend in advance, and I will see and talk to you guys very, very soon. So, bye everyone. See ya.